Well, good morning, everybody. This is Rick here at Hit and Run Candlesticks coming to you. It is 7:50 my time. That's 8:50 Eastern. It's December 31, 2021. You get up tomorrow? Well, it's going to be 2022. Okay, so you see my screen here, and it's a little different. Yeah, it's a little different. I thought I would shake things up today. And the reason is I sent out an email yesterday that you should have received. I think it was entitled Big Green Candles. Big Green Candles. And so I thought, well, when I did the video today, I would talk about those big green candles. And, well, I made my candles red and green today and put them on a black background. Normally I use a white background, white and black candles, and I'll go back to that. This is just for today. But I did just kind of figured, well, let's change things up a little bit, okay? So today we are going to be talking about big green candles, a few stocks that are setting up that way. But first, let's talk about the market a little bit. So yesterday market put in a more of a seller's day rather than a buyer's day. Sellers were in charge. I've adjusted this line right here down. What is that? Approximately 474. Anything below that, it just stands to reason that we might get down here to this 478. We'll call it 50 area. And this is also the Trendicator. For those that don't know, the Trendicator is these dots right there. Right there. And the red ones too. Those red dots, that's part of the Trendicator. Basically what it does, it helps me helps me get into a chart, or at least qualify it. Do I want to buy the chart? Qualified to buy a chart. For instance, see right here how the red dots and price is down. That does not qualify as a long chart. So I can't buy it anywhere in here, and it doesn't matter what the candlesticks look like. What I want to do is wait till those dots are green. And that indicates that the bulls are in charge opposed to the bears. It's also where I like to buy, and then that 17 EMA, that's all that is. 17 EMA becomes my line in the sand. So I might buy a stock, I might keep it. I mean, you know, I might even decide not to stop out when I should have. But that's kind of my line in the sand. Anything below the Trendicator says, without question, based on my rules, the sellers have taken absolute control. And if I'm long, well, we don't want the sellers to be taking absolute control. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So anyway, in the SPY here, we're just moving sideways. We've rallied up. We've consolidated. Doing pretty good there. Hang on, I'm going to bring the T line up. Give me 1 sec. It'll actually be a blink of an eye. There we go. Just a blink of an eye, the magic of a camera. The white line is the T line here. That white line, that's the 8 exponential moving average. So you can see now how price has slowed down from going up, and it is not went down with any great speed. And at the same time, the T-line has come up. So now we've got a meeting of price and the T-line. So what I see happen often in a situation like this is price will kind of hang out above that T-line area, and then it'll start moving up. Now, of course, I've also seen where it hangs out and it gives it up and we just go below. So the T-line becomes an important line for me in a chart. Below the T-line, I'm very skeptical about buying. I prefer to buy above the T-line, and the last line in the sand, the last ditch, would be the green dots down here, or the Trendicator. So you can see that we're just putting in a nice sideways, beautiful little flag pattern, just like that. We're being held up above the T-line, not that the T-line's holding it up, but we are being held above the T-line, and the T-line is above the Trendicator. So just that little diagnosis right in there tells me that the buyers are still very much in charge. They're in charge until they're not in charge. And what would take them out of charge? Well, whoops, I guess I can't use red, can I? Let's do this. Let's just use an arrow. If the sellers were to leave and the buyers were to come down like this, put in their low down in here and hang out down there, then I think we could say the sellers are absolutely in charge, at least for today. Okay, let's take a look at some charts here, some big green candles. So I just took a slurp of coffee. Okay, so what I also want to do is go through a little bit of a routine that I do every day. The routine sometimes starts in the evening after the market closes, and the routine is always pre-market before the market opens up. I get up early, have some coffee, and then I start my routine again. So what I do after the market closes, 90% of the time, but not always. Some days I just like to get out of here. Is I will take a look at the scanner. These two windows are two windows that I have for our scanner. It's the live trading alert scanner, and you can see that tickers stay on there after the market closes. These popped up exactly what we closed with, and then they've moved a little bit because it's pre-market. So it gives me some ideas on what might be working here this morning. And last night, it gives me charts that's set up based on the qualification that I've asked for. So what I did is I took a list here. I took that list and I put it over here so it's easy for me to get to. And it's just out of the way over here right now. So we're going to look at these stocks and maybe a few more, I think, that came off this list for possible trades today. And this is a scan. I call it just Big Candle. That's actually what the scan is called too, Big Candle, the official scan here. So let's take a look at these, and I'm going to start at the top of my list, and it'll definitely get Sophie here and WBLI, those, and we'll kind of go from there. All right, let's rock and roll. So let's look at SOLO here. So here's what I mean by a big candle. Nice bullish candle right there. A lot of these charts are at the bottom. Now, I'm not a bottom picker. I don't believe that's a good habit to get into. So why am I showing these candles? Well, these aren't candles to be bought. This is not a chart to be bought, at least not today. What I would like to see is a very simple chart pattern be created. And that chart pattern, let's see, will this color work? Yeah, that'll work. And this chart pattern is simply, we have a bottom. I want to see it rally up. And I want to see it pull back and test. That's all I want. So when it comes down to it, I'm willing to give this move up. I'm not going to get panicked. I'm not going to get a case of FOMO and fear of missing out. I'm not going to get excited. I mean, I'll get excited. Yeah, go solo. And then when solo pulls back, when it rests, it could just do that too. And then that's where I'll look for an entry. And the way I'll look for an entry is real simple. We rally up, we pull back or rest, and then what I'm going to look for is another buying signal that says the buyers are now stepping in. See the signal here to yesterday? That signal suggests the buyers are stepping in. The thing of it is, they really haven't done anything spectacular. They really have not. It's just noise at this point. But it's the kind of noise that we pay attention to. So with this right here, we'll draw that up again. With this, I also want price to be above those red dots, and that'll turn the dots green. And that will be a trigger or push me, that will push into a more likely buy area. So because we're still in a downtrend, as I say, it doesn't matter what this candle does. It catches your eye for sure. It's supposed to. But we're clearly in a downtrend. Let it low, high, higher low. Make sure the green candles or the dots are green, and then we can work with an entry on this. And with that, I'm looking at targets up here at we'll call it $3, $3 1/4, $3.55, $4.02. I put the lines up there for us. So that's what I'll be looking at. And down here, I'm not interested in it. I am interested in the chart because it showed a good sign. But I believe we need more of a sign before we get into this trade. All right, let's look at XPEV. So on XPEV, a little bit of a change on this one, opposed to that solo we just looked at. See how this one has been down? It actually rallied up to a high, and it pulled back to a higher low. And now see how it's making a higher high? It's done what we've wanted. So let's put this in there. It's done just, well, that was very poorly done, Rick. There we go. That has done just what we wanted it to do. Also, see the green dots? We did have one little red one in here, but one's not going to kill us. See these nice green dots right here? It's starting to work. We also want to make sure that we recognize just chart patterns in general. For instance, here I see an inverted head and shoulders. For those that don't know what an inverted head and shoulders is, it's a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder. Basically, it's a low, move around, make a lower low, and then it's a rally up and come back and make a higher low. And that gives us a low, a low, a low, gives us an inverted head and shoulders. Notice that, I think I mentioned it, those green dots are now green. This becomes a buy. So here I might look for a 3/8 trap. I might look for an inside day, something like that. Right in there would be a good buy. Now, I've got this line drawn up here, this $50.80, because it looks like there's a bit of resistance. So traders, I'm going to look at this as, okay, do I have a trade here or do I have a trade here? And the answer is yes to both. If there's nothing wrong with buying here, you just have to be on your toes and make sure that it doesn't get tired. This top doesn't scare it off. So, be a little strong with a stop in there. As we start to break out, that might, for some traders, become a little more of their type of trade. Since we're all looking, I think, at higher prices, we may absolutely disagree somewhat on the targets up there, and that's okay. But if by looking at this chart, we all might think, hey, this chart's going up, and so we have an agreement here. Now the thing is, you have to enter on your own personal rules, your own personal trading rules. If you have trouble with that, come on into the trading room and we'll help you out with that. And then as it moves up, we want to look at price action, take price off into strength. Again, however, you might do that. I'll do that how I do that. And let's rock and roll. That looks like an awesome, awesome chart. WW, here's WW. We've been in a downtrend. There's our big green candle. Notice our dots have turned to green here. Okay, I could get pretty excited about that. So I think what I'm going to do is just draw a line right there. And that's just going to tell me we're above the green dots. If we get below those green dots and they turn red, then I've just got that little helping line that says, hey, Rick, watch what you're doing here. Your dots are red. You don't want to be there, because that's what a trend does. Or the downtrend does. I think one of the key areas is to get over 1715. Then we'll look at 1850, 20 up here, then 21, and then who knows. But let's worry about this first. Right through there. Very simple. So what are we going to need? Since this is a low all by itself, you can see a low. We'll call those both a low. and then a lower low, what we need to see is a reversal. And what is a reversal? Low to a high, to a higher low, a rest of sorts, and then a higher high. Now, this can happen in one candle. It can happen in two. It may take 10. Bottom line, we've got this candle right here. This is not the candle to buy. The candle to buy, or the price action to buy, anyway, what I look for is on positive trading over this candle. This is the anchor. This is the anchor candle. We don't want to mess with the anchor candle. However, we do want to trade above the anchor candle. So if we start to do this, I guess I can't use green either, can I? Green doesn't show up very well. We'll use an arrow. There you go. If this candle starts to move up, that's where I'm going to look to buy it. If we just kind of do nothing in here for a day or two, and then it starts to break out here, that's where I'm going to look to buy it. And by the way, I'm not going to be opposed to buying in this area at all. So there's a couple areas where we could buy between those two lines and up into here. And then we'll be looking at those targets. Pretty simple. ZNGA, I noticed this morning as I was talking, ZNGA popped through here just a little bit. So ZNGA, this qualifies as a big green candle based on my scan. So we had a big green candle yesterday, and it looks like we're doing a little inside day 3/8 trap right now. I love the way, here I'm going to go use this little tool right here. I kind of like this and I kind of don't, but it's going to work out good for this. So this is nothing more than a little channel moving sideways. That's all it is, which is great. Here we have a bottom, we've rallied up, and now we're just channeling. So our decision is, do we buy it in here or do we wait for that breakout? Either decision would be correct. I know there's an awful lot of people out there that just tell me where to buy it. Nah, we don't do that. You've got to learn where to buy it on your own. That's what the education is for, to teach you how to look for these things. Somebody else might also say, just tell me, do I buy it inside here or do I wait for a breakout and buy it up here? Once again, I can't tell you to do that. What I can tell you and help you with is the education for you to figure that out. And that's what we do here at Hit Run Candlesticks. So please, anytime you can join in with us, please do that. I try to help as much as I can right here. Oh, by the way, speaking of that, if you find these videos helpful, will you please do me a favor? If you don't leave a comment, that's okay. And I do appreciate all the comments from everybody. Please just reach over and give us a thumbs up. Give us that thumbs up, because what that is, look, it makes me feel good. It really does. It makes me want to do another video. I get asked from other people or from traders, hey, can you talk about this or talk about that? And that's what I try to incorporate in some of these. So if you have a request, please throw your request out there. And please, if you find the videos useful, if you find them helpful, give us that thumbs up, okay? Thank you. Okay, so to me, that looks like a fabulous chart. Even if you were buying it, say, today, I think it would be very clear to have a stop around $6.25 below those lows, or right at those lows. And if it starts to break out, that certainly looks like a buy right in through here, with a target of $7.20, $7.58 up there. All right. BIDU. Now, I know everybody that's watching this video is trying to type into comments right now, BIDU, oh my God, China. Hey, look, this is just a trade I'm showing you that's set up. Doesn't mean you have to trade it, okay? So only trade what you want. Only trade what you like. Don't let anybody bully you into trading. And trade by your rules. This is so important. So here we have a chart that's in a downtrend. And, this is another one. I think I can put that little fancy box on. Look at that. We're just moving sideways. Now, in this sideways move, our dots have turned green. So I do like that. So I think what I'm going to do is put a line just like that. Now, that could be a buy for me. It absolutely could be. And the sell area would be this line right there, because that's resistant. I'm not even going to mess with it. If I bought that, popped up there, I'm going to get out of it. Simple. Because what I'm going to wait for is for it to break out and then look the buy box up here. One of the things that gets folks in trouble is FOMO, fear of missing out, thinking that this is the trade and that's all she wrote. That's not true. 355, that's all she wrote. So now that we're down, I mean, to me, you got to know that everybody involved with this stock, the company, is working their tail off to get back up there. Now, they may not get back up there, and it may take 10 years. I don't know that. All I know is I can follow the chart and the price action. And right now, we're getting a little clue that buyers whipped up on some sellers yesterday. So while I do like that trade, and I think it's a pretty decent, 10%, I doubt I would take that trade. But the trade above that line, absolutely. This is a great stock for the watch list. Okay, let's go take a look at LI. Look at LI here. Nice sideways consolidation here. Low, high, double bottom, which is the same as a higher low. And then we rallied up a little bit and then pulled back for a higher low and then popped up again. It looks like 3275 is kind of an important area, doesn't it? I mean, look at all these. Touch, touch, touch. These two candles right here, touch. These, touch. Yesterday, close enough for a touch. All right. So that tells me that's kind of important. Here's the candle that caught my eye on it. So how about we do this? How about we take this trade, we put this trade on a watch list, and we absolutely avoid this trade right there. I want nothing to do with that trade. Now, all the bottom pickers and FOMO pickers and all that sort of thing, yeah, everyone's going to jump into it here. Let them go. Let them go. Because only about 99% of those folks actually, 1% of those folks actually make money at the end of the year. So what we're going to do is we're going to let everybody just beat the crap out of each other down here. Let them fight. Let them do what they want. And then we're just going to calmly walk in when the chart picks up. And I promise you it will consolidate of some sorts. They always do. And then right in here, we're going to look at that for an entry area. And then what we're going to do is simply make money up to our target areas, just like that. And we're not going to fart around with that. Now, of course, this is all based on the market continuing to rally higher, and of course, this chart continuing to rally higher as well. So there's a nice little plan on LI right there. Another one is Sophie. There's Sophie. Sophie, we've got two green dots here. Our Trendicator, our Trendicator here is turned green. We have a low, a high, a higher low. Nice big green candle, nice inside day to day. You know, I do get it if somebody feels that this might be a buy-in here. It is setting up. You know, it's hard for me to say, okay, that's not a buy. That could be. It's also a buy on a breakout. Nobody has to buy it down here. Don't feel like you have to. There's still plenty of room to move out. One thing, let's see, I meant to show this. Let's see here. I'm going to go up. Oh, let's use LI as an example. So I'm talking about the red dots and green dots a lot today. And you see how these are red? Why would you want to buy any candles in there? Unless you're just a bottom picker. And I'll tell you, bottom picking is uncool. It's socially, it's disliked to pick your bottom. So just, listen to sound, do that. Picking bottoms and picking boogers just should not be in stock market trading. There you go. There, thumbs up for somebody who liked that one. So why don't we wait till those green dots turn green? That's an indication that the trend is working. Now, look at how we could have bought that. Popped up. Wouldn't that have been a good buy right in there? Look how it popped up 3 bars and we have an inside day. Good buy. Here we popped up and consolidated, a good buy. Terrific. So let's let this do the same thing. We already looked at Sophie. Let's look at Tall. This is the last two. I've got Tall and one more. So here's Tall. Put in a great big bullish engulf yesterday. Big bullish candle. Looks like we're opening up with a doji here this morning. The Trendicator is still absolutely red. So let's wait till it turns green. So this chart on a watch list, and I would suspect if we get above $4, $4.05, $4.10, that the dots are going to turn green. Now, once they turn green, now we can look for our typical buy signal. And then here's a couple targets for you. $465, $470 up there. And the last one I have here is NIO. Look at that monstrous, great big candle. We better also consider the double bottom down here. Notice the dots have turned green. Man, this looks like it could be a buy right here with a 31, maybe 25 stop. It's also a buy on follow through, or if it can, it can be a buy anytime it crosses one of these resistance lines and they become support. They become support when they prove that price can hold above them. So any one of these can be bought. You don't ever have to buy a chart down here to make money. You can make money from buying here, make money from buying here, make money from buying here. You can make money from buying from this level. Yes, you can. Maybe we'll talk about that in another video. Okay, man, I really stretched it out 26 minutes today, 27 minutes. I want to thank everybody, wish everyone a happy new year. If you do like the video, if you're still listening, please reach over and just give me a thumbs up on that. Just make me feel really good, and then I'll get up tomorrow morning and do another weekend charts to ponder video. All right, you guys, take care. Have fun trading today, and we'll see you next year, right?